What's up investors and welcome back to another video. Today I want to talk about ReconAfrica. This is traded on the OTC under the ticker RECAF and on the TSX Venture Exchange by the ticker RECO. This is a company that I've covered a few times on the channel and I've been very bullish on this stock for months. In fact, if you bought into Recon at the time of my first video, you would now be about 300% up. Over the past few months, this stock has gone parabolic from under $2 to over $8 and has been trading just below the $7 mark for the last few weeks. So today we'll be looking at the very latest news, both good and bad, who exactly are ReconAfrica and why they have so much potential. We will look at the very latest financials that they've just released, see the effect of recent financing deals, do some technical analysis before giving my conclusion on ReconAfrica. Before we get into the video, if you find any value in this video, can I ask you to smash that like button? It takes a lot of time to do this research and make these videos. It literally costs nothing to hit that like button. I'm aiming to get 150 likes on this, help me make it happen. Subscribe to the channel if you're new and hit the bell notification so you don't miss out on any new content like this. It's 100% free and a great way to show your support for the channel. Do you think ReconAfrica is undervalued or overvalued at its current price? And what are your price targets for the coming months or years? Leave a comment down below, I want to know what you think. I want to point out that I'm not a financial advisor and this is not financial advice. Now let's get into it. ReconAfrica is a junior oil and gas company engaged in the exploration and development of oil and gas in northeast Namibia and northwest Botswana, known as the Kavango Basin. ReconAfrica holds about 90% interest in petroleum exploration license in Namibia, which covers an area of 6.3 billion acres, and based on commercial success entitles ReconAfrica to a 25-year production lease. Namibian state oil company Namcor holds the remaining 10% interest. And they also have a 100% interest in the petroleum exploration rights in Botswana that covers an area of 2.2 acres and entitles ReconAfrica again to a 25-year production license over any commercial discovery. The survey and analysis confirmed that Kavango Basin reaches depths of up to 30,000 feet and is anticipated to hold an active petroleum system. ReconAfrica is required to pay Namibian corporation tax of 35% and in Botswana, royalties range from 3 to 10% and 22% CT. If you follow my channel, you might have seen my recent video about 88 Energy, ticker EEENF. They too are a junior oil exploration company, drilling in the Alaska North Slope region. In that video we mentioned that they are drilling near Prudhoe Bay, which is the USA's most prolific and largest oil field. To put this in perspective, Prudhoe Bay is approximately 213,000 acres, and today it has produced over 15 million barrels of oil. The Kavango Basin that ReconAfrica has the rights to is 8.5 million acres. That's nearly 40 times the size in acreage, and has an expected production potential of somewhere between 66 and 120 billion barrels. There's also several other oil companies exploring many areas near this area, such as ExxonMobil and Shell, and all the high quality infrastructure is already in place. So the very latest news from Recon is the big news that we've been waiting for. ReconAfrica is pleased to report geologic results in the first section of the second well 6-1, which again confirms a working petroleum system in the Kavango sedimentary basin. As well as this, the company is strengthening its environment, social and governance standards and committing a minimum of $10 million to ESG expenditures in the Kavango region in which it operates. Now a lot of this is in response to some other news that we'll be going over in a few minutes, but it also shows that they're willing to spend this much, showing the level of potential that's actually here. So let's look a little bit more into this now. Based on initial analysis of the first section, ReconAfrica is pleased to report 440 feet of light oil and gas shows from the 6-1 well. The shows are similar in character to those seen in the 6-2 well, and like the 6-2 well, shows clear evidence of a working conventional petroleum system. With the completion of the intermediary casing operation, the company is drilling ahead on schedule to finish drilling operations of the 6-1 well by the end of June 2021. So we should be expecting even more news in the coming weeks, and this should have an additional positive impact on the share price, just like today's PR. Due to the success of the 6-2 well, ReconAfrica has added additional scientific analysis to the already robust program, including capture of natural gas samples using isotubes technology to enable analysis of natural gas composition. The upcoming 2D seismic survey will tie in with data from these two wells and provide the first regional interpretation of the overall basin. Our goal in expanding our ESG program is to not only meet but exceed regulatory compliance as we continue to implement measures to protect the environment, implement a net zero carbon program and enhance the livelihoods of the people of Namibia. Now I'm just skipping on to the main points for the purpose of getting through this quickly, but I'll put a link in the description. So for anyone who wants to have a read of this full press release, click on the link. The company is working with all levels of government, traditional authorities and other stakeholders to protect Namibia's water, with 3 key goals to support its water management protection measures, including aquifer protection, surface water and drainage management, sustained protection of self-imposed project no-go zones. And then further down, ReconAfrica is committed to operating in compliance with the Code of Business, Code of Ethics and other relevant policies. These last 2 points are in response to allegations and rumours that have been surrounding Recon for the last couple of months, which we will look at now. So in recent days, the Kavango East Governor issued a statement supporting ReconAfrica. Governor Wakadumu of Kavango East is aware of recent media reports attempting to discredit ReconAfrica and the work in our region. ReconAfrica has, since the time of starting operations in Namibia, proven that they are a reputable and trustworthy company that respects, adheres and complies with all laws of our country and works in respectful collaboration with our communities. This is very good that the Governor is coming out in support of Recon after recent discrediting media reports. I believe that the recent article in National Geographic describing a complaint to the SEC purported to have been filed on the 5th of May 2021 does not reflect the integrity and business practices of ReconAfrica and its operations in our region. In all of ReconAfrica's dealings with our office and authorities, the company has done everything legally and transparently, respecting all levels of authority. If you don't know about this National Geographic article, we'll look at it in a minute and then look at the ReconAfrica response. We are pleased with ReconAfrica's approach to working closely and in constant consultation with our office, local authority and the community. This is only the beginning stages and we have already started to experience the positive economic and social impact of the project in our region. ReconAfrica can be applauded for recognising the traditional authorities in the area and as a first step seeking and getting approval from the authorities for land and water use while working closely and under the approval of the Ministry of Agriculture, Water and Land Reform for all water and land matters. It is up to the Namibian people to determine how the country will develop and manage our natural resources, and we have welcomed their operations. We continue to be confident in ReconAfrica for the sustainable development of our natural resources for the benefit of our region and country as a whole. So everything I've just mentioned has been in response to this article published at the beginning of May. Now I won't go into huge detail here, just go over the main points and then we'll look at ReconAfrica's statement in response to this. Again, I'll put a link in the description if you want to have a read of this. First things first, they say ReconAfrica is disposing of wastewater without permits according to a government minister. The company is also ignoring local concerns about the impact of exploration and drilling on water supplies, homes and animals. Then down a bit further, the threat from oil and gas drilling to one of the planet's most diverse ecosystems boggles the mind, William Odendahl told National Geographic last year. The roads, pipelines and construction that come with the oil and gas extraction could negatively affect important animal habitat, migratory pathways and biodiversity. Now I just want to say Recon are not the only company exploring in these regions, and as we've said already, a lot of this infrastructure is already in place. They go on to say waste fluids are being stored in what appears to be unlined pond where they could leak into the ground and contaminate the water supply in the desert region. Namibia's Minister of Agriculture, Water and Land Reform, the agency responsible for water-related permits, told National Geographic in a written statement that ReconAfrica does not have the permits approved to extract water to use in its drilling operations nor to dispose of the wastewater, suggesting that the company is operating in breach of Namibian government regulations. Now we've already seen that the Kavango governor has come out in support of Recon and stated that they have complied with all laws and permits. The article also claims that Recon's public relations firms didn't answer questions directly about wastewater disposal, and they claim that members of the public have said that Recon had not taken seriously the requirement to inform and consult the public about its plans. So following on from that National Geographic article, on May 24th, Recon issued a statement as a factual response to the article. We are proud that the Namibian government has selected ReconAfrica as one of over 30 national and international energy companies it trusts to explore the company's natural resource potential in sustainable ways. They go on to say, ReconAfrica adheres fully to the legal obligations within its territories in which it operates. Allegations have been made in the media suggesting this is not the case, and these are categorically untrue. Canadian practices and technologies are widely regarded as amongst the best in the world for environmental protection and safety, and we are bringing those innovations to every aspect of our project. ReconAfrica's work in Namibia is guided by and under constant review and approval of a wide range of government ministries and regulatory agencies, including the Ministries of Mines and Energies, Agriculture, Water and Land, Environment, Forestry and Tourism, the Ministry of Home Affairs, Immigration, Safety and Securities, and others. Then, in a direct response to National Geographic, they've said that ReconAfrica undertook every aspect of its financing transparently and legally in compliance with applicable security laws. All sales and purchases of shares are fully publicly disclosed before stating that directors and officers are also purchasers of the most recent financing deals. They state that their tests show an active petroleum system, and this fact has been verified by internationally recognised and independent third parties recognised as leaders in this area. This is probably the most important piece of information from an investor's point of view from this whole article. Having an internationally recognised third party backing up their findings is vital, and we've seen that impact in the share price today alone. And finally, Recon have taken a swipe at National Geographic and Disney for facilitating activist short sellers attempting to attack ReconAfrica's stock price. Rather than reporting on true facts about the important work ReconAfrica is performing for the people of Namibia, National Geographic rushed to print a false defamatory article, purposely avoiding the detailed information ReconAfrica was willing and prepared to provide, and deliberately concealed their involvement with an anonymous source that reportedly filed a SEC complaint, characterizing this source as a whistleblower. This all occurred immediately after filing short positions in RECONAfrica stock increased significantly, more than tripling in volume. National Geographic has enabled these short sellers to potentially line their pockets at the expense of the Namibian people and investors. Now let's look at the most recent financials. These are up to March 31st and were just released on May 31st. So before we look at the financial statements, keep in mind that it's usual to see massive liabilities in this type of company before any revenues are recognised. Looking at the balance sheet as at March 31st, we can see the total assets amount to $69 million and liabilities amounting to $1.7 million. That's a ratio of over 35 to 1, which is up from a ratio of 26 to 1 from September 2020 and 15 to 1 for December 2020. Importantly also, assets is largely made up of cash, amounting to $36.5 million, which has increased significantly from December's cash balance of $6.8 million. And Recon will have an even better cash position presently, which we will look at in a moment. Looking at the income statement, we can see here that Recon has not recognised any revenue for the period ended March 31st, or any revenue in the previous period. This gives us a total net loss of $2.9 million for the 3-month period compared to $1.3 million loss for the same period last year and a $7.4 million loss for the full year 2020. As I said before, as far as I'm concerned, the income statement is largely irrelevant at this point as the company has no income of note. The balance sheet is what's important here, and we can see that they have a very healthy cash balance, which is vital for a growing company. Now, as we've seen already, there's been a lot of volatility in the share price at Recon over the past few months. The share price dropped significantly from around $3.50 in February down to $2 at the start of March. This could be due in part to 2 announcements from the company on the 10th of February for the early expiration of common share purchase warrants, and by March 25th this had been finalised adding a further 34 million to the company's balance sheet. Between this 34 million and a 41.1 million that was completed at the end of May, this gives Recon fantastic cash runway for any future expenses. Note that all figures are in Canadian dollars. Then we also had more news on the 31st of May, whereby Recon announced the listing of warrants. In total, 2.1 million warrants were issued, each warrant entitling the holder to acquire one common share at a price of $14 until May 24th, 2024. The company may accelerate the expiry date of the warrants if the shares trade equal or higher than $20 for any period of 20 consecutive trading days. It's worth noting that although this is Canadian dollars, this price is still far above the current trading price of ReconAfrica shares. Now guys, usually I like to take a look at the management team of these companies that I'm covering, because it's always important to know exactly who's running the companies that you're putting your money into. These are the people that you are trusting with your hard-earned cash. But to keep this video from being too long, I'm going to skip the management section here. If you haven't seen any of my previous videos, I've covered them before. I've covered this section before if you want to check out one of those videos. So now we'll skip straight into the charts. When we look at the charts over the past 3 months, we can see that ReconAfrica has gained significantly. From being as low as in the $2 range back in March and April, we had this massive spike up where we went from around $2.70 up to over $8.30. Then after hitting that massive gain, we dropped back down again to around about $5. And then we began rising again from the end of April right up into the start of May, reaching heights of over $8. And we had been going fairly sideways, maybe slightly downwards for the last month or so. And then we can see here over the last 5 days we had this big spike up here, which very quickly dropped back down again. And then on the news of the drilling results, we had heights of over $9 in pre-market before dropping back down. But the drop here isn't concerning. Look at that gain from 6 up to 9. After making that sort of a gain, it was always likely to drop back down throughout the day. Then looking here at the volatility, we can see that it's gone up and down quite a few times, offering plenty of opportunities to make gains of up to or even more than 50% at any given time. And I expect this to continue. As more and more good news comes out, it should propel the share price up. And as we've seen already, Recon do expect to have another update on their drilling results before the end of this month. So bear that in mind as the share price is going up and down. So guys, that brings us to the end of the video. Before I give you my final thoughts, if you've watched all the way through, then please hit that like button. It takes more time than you could imagine to research these companies and make these videos. If you're new to the channel, remember to hit that subscribe button and bell notification. I'll be running a competition near the end of the month for subscribers. Like and subscribe to take part. More details coming soon. And leave a comment to say that you've liked and subscribed so that I know. So what do I think? Firstly, I want to say that my opinion on Recon has not changed over the past few months. There is so much potential here that it is hard not to find this to be an exciting company. The progress that they've made over the last couple of months has been nothing short of spectacular, and we've seen this in the share price going from less than $2 to over $8 on a couple of occasions. From an investing point of view, these types of companies are always risky, where you have mass investment before you ever see any revenues. From my perspective, I've never seen this as the type of stock to swing trade or for the short term. And I still feel that the real profits here are to be made in the long hold. Although this is not without risk, I do think this is a fantastic opportunity to buy into this company with the balance sheet as strong as it is at the moment and share dilution having already been done. As I said before, I'd be much happier investing in this company now than a couple of months ago, even after the share price has risen so much. I think that any further positive news that will emerge from the drilling could have a major effect on the share price, just like we've seen recently, and could potentially push it to multiple times what it is now. In my last video I spoke about any negative news that could have a strong adverse effect on the share price. But so far we've had National Geographic slate the company, the management accused of not complying with laws, and financing deals that have somewhat diluted the shareholding, but yet the share price is still strong and better than ever. So good news could really push it sky high. As always guys, this is just my opinion. If anyone is thinking about buying this stock, I encourage you to do your own research and only invest money that you can afford to. As I said before, I'm not a financial advisor and this is not financial advice. Thanks for watching the video. What are your thoughts on the future of ReconAfrica? Leave a comment down below and I'll catch you in the next one.